Hello and welcome back to our story. Today, we dive back into the ever-twisting tale of the Bennet sisters. Last time, we left Elizabeth reeling from the news of Lydia's marriage, and she suspected there was more to the story than met the eye. Now, she finally receives a letter from her Aunt Gardner, and the truth it reveals is more astonishing than she could have ever imagined. Her aunt writes that none other than Mr. Darcy himself was the secret hero who saved the Bennet family's honour. It turns out Darcy felt responsible for not exposing Wickham's true character sooner, so he took it upon himself to track down the runaway couple in London. He found them through a disgraced former employee of his sister, a woman who knew Wickham. Darcy went to them, hoping to persuade Lydia to come home, but she stubbornly refused to leave Wickham's side, married or not. Wickham, meanwhile, confessed to Darcy that he never intended to marry Lydia. He'd only run away to escape his gambling debts and was still on the hunt for a wealthy heiress. So, what did Darcy do? He negotiated with the very man he despised. He paid off all of Wickham's debts and provided a substantial sum for their future, all out of his own pocket. He even attended the wedding to ensure everything went smoothly. Aunt Gardner's letter reveals that Darcy insisted on taking full financial responsibility, arguing with Mr. Gardner until her uncle had no choice but to agree. Her aunt cheekily adds that they both suspected Darcy's motives weren't just about duty. They were sure he was doing it all for Elizabeth. She even confesses how much she has grown to like him, praising his character and suggesting he just needs the right woman to bring out his best side. Reading this, Elizabeth is overwhelmed. She's filled with both pain and pleasure. Pain from the shame of how she has misjudged and ridiculed him, and immense pleasure and pride in his honourable actions. He swallowed his pride, dealt with two people he must have loathed, and spent a small fortune she now dares to hope for her. The realization hits her hard. Her family owes everything to the man they all claim to dislike. Just as this emotional storm is settling, another piece of news electrifies the Bennet household. Mr. Bingley is returning to Netherfield. Mrs. Bennet, who had been moping since Lydia's departure, is instantly revived, buzzing with excitement and plotting dinner invitations. But she doesn't have to wait long. Just a few days after his arrival, she spots him riding towards their house. And who is with him? Mr. Darcy. Mrs. Bennet declares, "Well, as he is Mr. Bingley's friend, we must be polite, but I must say, I hate the sight of him." For Jane and Elizabeth, the visit is fraught with tension. Jane is nervous to see Bingley again, determined to hide her feelings. Elizabeth's heart is in a turmoil. She's the only one who knows their family's great debt to Darcy, and she's shocked that he has come to see her. A tiny flicker of hope ignites could his feelings for her still be the same. Sadly, the visit is a disappointment. Darcy is distant, formal, and says almost nothing to her. Elizabeth is left wondering why he even came. To make matters worse, she's mortified by her mother's behaviour. Mrs. Bennet fawns over Mr. Bingley while making pointedly rude remarks in Darcy's direction. The only positive sign is that Bingley seems just as captivated by Jane's beauty and charm as he was before. A few days later, both gentlemen attend a dinner at Longbourn. Elizabeth is delighted to see Bingley seated next to Jane, their conversation flowing easily, but her own happiness is out of reach. Darcy is seated far away from her, right next to her mother. She watches them, seeing how cold and strained their interaction is. She yearns to tell him how much she, at least, appreciates his incredible kindness. But the evening passes with no opportunity for a real conversation, and her hopes begin to fade. Soon after, Bingley starts visiting Longbourn alone. Darcy, he says, has gone to London. Bingley comes day after day, his cheerful presence lighting up the house. Mrs. Bennet, in her not-so-subtle way, keeps finding excuses to leave him and Jane alone, practically pushing them together. Yet Bingley remains charming, friendly, and single. Then, one day, everything changes. Bingley comes over for a day of shooting with Mr. Bennet and stays for lunch, and then through the evening. Elizabeth walks into the sitting room and stops in her tracks. She sees Jane and Bingley standing close together by the fire. When they notice her, they jump apart. Bingley whispers something to Jane and quickly leaves the room. Jane, unable to contain her joy, turns to her sister. "I am the happiest creature in the world." She cries, "Oh, Lizzie, he has just gone to ask my father's permission." Elizabeth is overjoyed for her sister. Finally, a happy ending, free from Darcy's past interference and Caroline Bingley's scheming. The entire house is filled with celebration. Jane is radiant, Bingley is completely smitten, and Mrs. Bennet is ecstatic, talking of nothing else all night. The news of the engagement spreads like wildfire through Meryton, and suddenly the Bennets, once considered unfortunate, are now seen as the luckiest family around. Jane has found her happiness, but what about Elizabeth? With Darcy in London and their last encounters so cold and distant, has she lost her chance for good? Is her story destined for a different, less joyful ending? We'll find out next time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the next chapter of our story.